Welcome, dear friend. If these words resonate with you, it is likely because somewhere deep within the current of your existence, you have recognized a profound and persistent fatigue. This is not merely the simple tiredness that a good night's sleep can dissolve. This is a structural weariness, a soul-deep exhaustion born from the continuous, unspoken effort to maintain a life that feels fundamentally separate, demanding, and ultimately unsustainable. Ask yourself, honestly, do you ever feel like you're perpetually swimming upstream? Are you constantly working, striving, acquiring, and defending, only to feel a hollow ache that no achievement can truly fill? This gnawing sense of dissatisfaction, this chronic spiritual fatigue, is the very first and most universal clue that your fundamental understanding of reality may be flawed. You have been conditioned by the modern world to believe that your value is measured by your independence, your achievements, and the rigid boundaries you maintain between yourself and others. You have been trained to fear vulnerability, to chase permanence in a world defined by flux, and to fiercely defend the small kingdom of I and mine. This relentless striving is not a sign of strength. It is the source of your exhaustion. And it all stems from one core misunderstanding, one ancient, powerful illusion that dictates how we experience every moment of our lives. The illusion of separation. The fundamental problem, the very engine of stress and dukkha. Suffering is the illusion of separation. We walk through life feeling like isolated, self-contained islands. We believe that our thoughts are strictly ours. Our problems are unique to us, and our survival depends solely on our own effort and resources. We see a clear dividing line between me and not me, between my suffering and their suffering. This feeling of being separated generates immense anxiety. If you are an island, you must constantly build walls to protect yourself from the ocean of external threats, criticism, loss, failure, and the inevitable tide of change. This perpetual act of building, defending, and fearing is the hidden tax on your energy, leading to the severe burnout we see everywhere today. Consider your greatest anxieties right now. Are they not all rooted in the fear of loss, losing health, losing loved ones, losing status, or the fear of rejection, being isolated, being deemed unworthy? Both fears are predicated on the belief that you are a fragile, separate entity that must fight to maintain its boundaries in a hostile universe. The great question, what is true existence? The Buddhist path, based on the insights of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, does not begin with dogma or faith, but with an intensely practical question. What is the true nature of existence? The answer is provided by the Buddha, which have sustained wisdom traditions for over 2.5 millennia, directly address and dismantle the illusion of separation. They promise that the profound peace you seek is not achieved by gaining more things or becoming stronger, but by seeing clearly the true, interconnected nature of reality and dropping the unnecessary burdens you carry. You are invited now to set aside, just for a moment, the conventional definitions of reality that have caused so much stress. We invite you to explore the possibility that you are not, and have never been, alone or separate. The compassionate roadmap. The wisdom contained in these chapters is not meant to be read intellectually. It is meant to be absorbed and practiced experientially. It provides a compassionate roadmap built on the Four Noble Truths, leading you from the diagnosis of Dukkha to the practice of liberation. This journey begins with the concept that is the direct counterpoint to the illusion of separation, the truth of interdependence. If we can truly understand that nothing exists independently, then the anxiety of fighting alone will begin to dissolve. Before we proceed, take a moment to reflect on the core illusion. Where in your life do you feel the most separate? What boundary are you struggling hardest to maintain? What is the exhaustion telling you about your need to control? Breathe into this awareness. The profound weariness you feel is not a failure. It is your spirit's plea for a more honest and integrated way of living. It is the perfect signal that you are ready to stop swimming against the current and instead learn how to simply float upon the vast, supportive ocean of existence. We will begin by defining and exploring the absolute cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, the truth that everything is seamlessly connected. This insight is where your liberation from the exhausting fight truly begins. In the previous section, we identified the root of our chronic exhaustion, the illusion of separation. We operate under the false premise that we are independent islands fighting alone in a hostile sea. The Buddhist response to this illusion is not a comforting myth, but a precise, profound reality. Check the core teaching of interdependence, known in Sanskrit as Pratītyasamutpāda, dependent origination. Pratītyasamutpāda, the co-arising of all phenomena. The term Pratītyasamutpāda literally translates to conditioned co-arising or dependent origination. It means that nothing in the universe, from the smallest grain of sand to the most complex galaxy or the fleeting feeling of happiness, exists independently, permanently, or self-sufficiently. Everything arises, changes, and passes away dependent upon a vast network of conditions. Interdependence is far deeper than simply acknowledging that we need air and water to survive. It is the realization that the identity and nature of everything are defined only by its relationship with everything else. Consider a simple object, a piece of paper. Can the paper exist solely on its own? The answer is no. To truly see the paper, we must see the entire universe contained within it. It depends on the tree it came from. The tree depends on the soil, the rain, and the sunlight. The sunlight depends on the cosmos and nuclear fusion. The soil depends on microorganisms and the decay of ancient life. The paper's existence as paper depends on the lumberjack, the factory, the labor, the transportation, and the ink you use to write on it. The paper is empty of a self-existing, independent nature. It is only a name, a label we affix to a vast, constantly changing collection of conditions. Remove the sun, remove the rain, remove the logger, the paper vanishes. This is interdependence. The exhaustion of seeking independence. The exhaustion you feel comes from trying to force yourself to be the one thing that the universe structurally prohibits: independent. We spend enormous energy trying to 1. Be permanent. We cling to youth, health, or a certain emotional state, resisting the flow of conditioned change. 2. Be separate. We believe our problems are ours alone, refusing to ask for help because we fear appearing dependent. 3. Be controllable. We try to micromanage every condition around us, people, circumstances, markets, to ensure our comfort and survival. This battle is unwinnable because it is a battle against the very operating system of the universe, Pratītyasamutpāda. When you truly see that you are utterly dependent, not as a weakness, but as a fact of reality, you can finally relax the tense, exhausting grip of trying to control the world. Interdependence. In human relationships, the principle of dependent origination, Dian Koyi, shines most brightly and most painfully in our relationships. When a conflict arises, we often default to blaming the other person, seeing them as a self-existing source of malice or annoyance. But if we apply the lens of interdependence, we see the relationship itself as the dependent phenomenon. Your anger, it doesn't arise alone. It is conditioned by their words, which are conditioned by their stress, which is conditioned by their past experiences, which are conditioned by the society they live in, and so on. Your identity. Who are you? You are a mother conditioned by your child, a colleague conditioned by your team, a student conditioned by your teacher. The moment the conditions, the child, the team, the teacher, change, the identity, mother, colleague, student must also change. Interdependence shows us that separation in relationships is the cause of suffering. The moment you define yourself as separate from your partner or colleague, you create the distance necessary for misunderstanding, expectation, and pain to thrive. The positive impact, the generosity of existence. The realization of interdependence is not meant to be fatalistic. It is the most liberating truth. It means that the universe is not just interconnected, but intersupportive. Look at the simple act of breathing. You inhale the oxygen produced by the plants. The plants inhale the carbon dioxide you exhale. Your life is literally being sustained by them. Continuous, selfless generosity of every other being and phenomenon on the planet. When you recognize this generosity of existence, the heavy burden of doing it all yourself lifts. You realize that you are supported by an invisible, massive web of conditions, from the food on your table to the laws of physics that keep you grounded. This radical acceptance of dependence transforms the self-centered exhaustion into communal gratitude. Instead of feeling fear about reliance, you feel gratitude for the support. Instead of feeling the burden of control, you feel the ease of flow. The practice is simple. Pause frequently throughout your day and look at something ordinary, your chair, your water, your clothing, and trace its roots back to the sun, the rain, the soil, and the labor of others. See the seamless web in action. In that seeing, the illusion of separation begins to dissolve, and with it, the exhaustion of fighting alone. This leads us naturally to the next chapter, where we will explore the practical consequences of living in this web, how our actions create ripples throughout the entire interconnected system. The law of karma, Engib, In the previous section, we established interdependence, Pratītyasamutpāda, the profound truth that nothing is separate, and everything is conditioned by a vast, seamless web of relationships. Now we must ask the logical next question. If we are all connected, how does our personal action function within this network? And what is the responsibility we carry? This brings us to the Buddhist concept of karma, Engib. For many, karma is misunderstood as divine punishment or fatalistic destiny. It's just my bad. Karma is a common, disempowering phrase. The true Buddhist understanding is far more precise and empowering. Karma is the natural law of cause and effect applied to intentional action. Karma, action, intention, and consequence. The word karma simply means action or deed. But the Buddha specified that the key component of karma is intention, Taṇhā. It is not the result that defines the karma, but the mindset that initiates the action. The law is simple. Wholesome actions, motivated by generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom, create seeds for wholesome results, happiness, ease, favorable conditions. Unwholesome actions, motivated by greed, hatred, and delusion, create seeds for unwholesome results, suffering, difficulty, unfavorable conditions. Because we live within the interdependent network, our karma is not an isolated event. It is the force that generates ripples across the seamless web. Interdependent karma. In the isolated view of the ego, an action is a transaction between two parties, e.g., I yelled at him. In the view of interdependent karma, the action is a dynamic force that impacts the entire system. 1. Impact on the self, the immediate effect the moment you choose to yell, an unwholesome action driven by hatred/anger. You are conditioning your own mind. You instantly feel tension. Your heart rate increases and you reinforce the mental habit of aggression. You are the first recipient of your own negative karma. 2. Impact on the other, the relational ripple you yell, conditions the listener, causing them stress, fear, or reactive anger. This ripple is immediate and visible. 3. Impact on the environment. The subtle wave the action affects the overall atmosphere of the room, the office, or the home, subtly conditioning the emotional state of any observer who witnesses the event. 4. Impact on the future. The conditioned seed, most importantly, the action plants a seed in the vast, common field of consciousness. This seed conditions the likelihood of future similar interactions. Your act of yelling makes it easier for you to yell again, and it makes the other person more likely to respond defensively next time. This detailed perspective reveals why the exhaustion persists. We are constantly exhausting ourselves by generating negative karma, unwholesome actions that require enormous energy to execute and create stressful conditions that demand even more energy to navigate later. The power of right intention, Sammasakkappa. Within the Eightfold Path, the Buddha highlighted right intention, Sammasakkappa, as the second step, immediately following right understanding. This emphasizes that the conscious choice of intention is the most powerful tool we have for shaping our experience within the karmic network. Right intention focuses on cultivating three wholesome intentions: renunciation, nekkhamma, intention to let go of clinging and craving; goodwill, Vibhava, intention of kindness and non-hatred toward all beings; harmlessness, Vibhava, intention not to harm anyone, including yourself. When your actions are consistently driven by these intentions, you are harvesting energy instead of expending it. You are creating a natural flow of ease and peace. In the previous sections, we dismantled the illusion of separation by recognizing interdependence, and we accepted our profound karmic responsibility within that seamless web. With this clear view, we now turn to the first and most fundamental of the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering, Dukkha. The concept of Dukkha is perhaps the most misunderstood teaching of the Buddha, often translated simply as suffering. The term is far richer and more encompassing. Dukkha means unsatisfactoriness, stress, unease, imperfection, or the persistent feeling that things are never quite right. Dukkha is the ultimate diagnosis of the human condition. It is the acknowledgement that any conditioned, temporary phenomenon, by its very nature of being impermanent, will always possess an element of inherent stress or frustration when we try to hold on to it. The three doors of Dukkha. To truly understand Dukkha and stop fighting it blindly, the Buddha categorized its manifestations into three primary forms. This categorization helps us see that suffering is not always a dramatic crisis, but often a subtle, structural defect in our reality. 1. Dukkha, the suffering of pain. This is the most obvious and unavoidable form of Dukkha. It is the suffering of pain, encompassing physical discomfort, illness, injury, and emotional distress like grief, loss, and anguish. Manifestation, the sting of a physical injury, the heartbreak following a separation, or the sharp pang of anxiety. Significance, this suffering is a fact of biological existence. We cannot avoid pain, but we can profoundly change our reaction to it. 2. Dukkha, the suffering of change. This is the suffering of impermanence, or the distress caused by things that are pleasant but do not last. This form of dukkha is central to our modern exhaustion. We spend vast amounts of energy chasing happiness, success, praise, or youth, only to have them fade, collapse, or be replaced by something else. Manifestation, the letdown after achieving a major goal, the melancholy when a celebration ends, or the despair when a relationship loses its initial spark. The illusion. We mistake fleeting pleasure for permanent happiness. We cling to the peak of the wave, and when the wave inevitably breaks, the resulting pain is the suffering of change. 3. Dukkha, the suffering of conditioned existence. This is the most subtle and profound form of dukkha. It is the suffering of conditioned existence itself. Even in moments when we feel neither pain nor loss, there is an underlying structural tension, the sense that something is missing or incomplete. This arises because every element of our existence, sakra, or compounded phenomena, including our body and mind, is inherently unstable, constantly changing, and therefore subject to collapse. The manifestation, the background static of anxiety, the restless need for distraction, the feeling that you are never good enough or ready enough. Significance. This is the root cause of chronic fatigue. You are tired because your mind is perpetually fighting the instability of its own conditions. Try to impose permanence and control where none is possible. Dukkha in the modern exhaustion. Our intense, achievement-driven culture amplifies dukkha and Dukkha exponentially. The pursuit of the peak, VIP. We are trained to believe that happiness is found at the summit, the job title, the perfect relationship, the ideal body weight. We forget that the only way off the summit is down. The effort to stay at the peak is the most exhausting struggle of all. The background static, sa. The constant stimulation from screens, notifications, and social media creates a relentless, low-grade level of Dukkha. This stimulation keeps the mind in a state of agitation, preventing it from ever settling into natural stillness. You become addicted to the background static, and yet it is what prevents deep rest. The fear of the void, sa. When we stop moving, the silence reveals the inherent instability of our existence. This is why many feel compelled to always be busy. Busyness is a defense mechanism against confronting the profound, structural absence of a fixed, permanent self, a topic we will explore in detail soon. Underscore The liberation in acknowledgement. The key insight of the first noble truth is not that life is miserable, but that acknowledging dukkha is the first step toward freedom. Will you truly accept that life is inherently unsatisfactory? Because everything changes, you stop demanding that the universe conform to your rigid, grasping expectations. This simple act of acceptance releases a tremendous amount of stored mental tension. If you accept that, your body will experience pain and decay. Your achievements will fade and be replaced. Your beloved relationships will change and ultimately end. Then the suffering, the resistance to these facts, begins to transform into a simple, non-reactive pain that can be managed with wisdom and compassion. This acceptance is not resignation. It is a profound act of spiritual realism. It shifts the question from, why is this happening to me? A question that implies injustice, to what is my wisest response to the reality of change? The exhaustion begins to lift the moment you drop the sword of resistance. You realize, I am tired because I was trying to make the changeable unchangeable and the impermanent permanent. With this clear diagnosis, we are fully prepared for the next step, identifying the precise, internal mechanism that generates this suffering, the clinging force known as Ta. In the previous section, we identified dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, as the diagnosis, the inherent stress of impermanence. The next logical step, and the second noble truth, is to identify the precise cause, or the origin of suffering, samudaya. The Buddha declared the primary cause of dukkha to be tamai, often translated as craving, thirst, or grasping. Ta is the desperate, restless mental energy that seeks to extract permanence and satisfaction from things that are inherently temporary. If dukkha is the symptom, ta is the virus, and the exhaustion you feel is the direct result of constantly feeding this internal, insatiable fire. Ta and upadana, the two-step process. The concept of ta is closely related to upadana, Chap Thursday, the fuel or the clinging. The process of suffering is a two-step cycle. 1, craving the initial thirst or desire for something more or something different. This is the feeling that I need that to be happy, or I need this feeling to stop. 2, upadana, clinging/grasping, the act of holding on and investing energy in the object of craving. This is the psychological attachment that says, this must not change. When the object inevitably changes due to viparima dukkha, the act of clinging creates the psychological pain. Imagine holding a glass of water, the desired object, in a boat during a storm, impermanent reality. Ta is the thirst. Upadana is the rigid, white-knuckled grip on the glass, desperately trying not to spill a drop. When the boat lurches in the water, spills, the resulting frustration and pain are generated not by the spilled water, but by the effort of the rigid grip. The exhaustion comes from the grip itself. The three fires of Ta. Ta manifests in three primary, insatiable forms, often called the three fires because they burn through our inner peace and energy. 1, kamata, sensual, craving. This is the craving for pleasant sensory experiences, sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and the seeking of immediate gratification. Modern manifestation, the addiction to endless, scrolling, binge watching, emotional eating, and constantly seeking external stimulation to avoid internal quiet. This form of craving creates exhaustion by forcing us into a perpetual state of outward seeking. 2. Bhava, craving for existence/becoming. This is the craving to be something, to become someone, or to continue in existence. This is the desire for status, success, power, fame, and the perpetuation of a rigid identity. Modern manifestation, the unrelenting pressure to achieve professional success, the fear of retirement, the obsession with leaving a legacy, or the sheer fatigue of maintaining a perfect, curated persona on social media. This form of craving creates exhaustion by forcing us into a perpetual state of future striving. 3. Vibhava, craving for non-existence/annihilation. This is the craving to not be or to be rid of something unpleasant. It is the aversion to pain, difficulty, or failure. This manifests as hatred, avoidance, denial, and the impulse to escape reality. Modern manifestation, the avoidance of difficult conversations, the denial of health problems, the attempt to numb pain with substances, or the self-destructive desire for life to simply stop when things are hard. This form of craving creates exhaustion by forcing us into a perpetual state of internal resistance. We have diagnosed the problem, Dukkha, identified the cause, Taṇhā, or clinging, and now we must address the object of the clinging, the very thing we grasp most fiercely. The self, the deepest source of our exhaustion, the root that fuels the fire of craving, is the belief in a permanent, independent, and separate self, a fixed entity called I or me that must be constantly protected, validated, and perfected. The Buddhist teaching of Anatta, Vona, or non-self, is the surgical tool that dismantles this illusion, offering the most profound relief from the burden of self-maintenance. Anatta, a radical freedom. Anatta is not a denial of your existence. It doesn't mean you don't feel, think, or act. It is the realization that none of your component parts can be identified as a fixed, changeless, independent essence. If you're suffering from chronic exhaustion, it is often because you're spending all your energy trying to maintain a lie. The lie that this I is stable, enduring, and separate from the rest of the interconnected world. When you realize there is no fixed I to defend, the battle stops. The 5 aggregates, Pancaskandha, to prove the non-existence of a fixed self, the Buddha analyzed the entirety of human experience into 5 constantly changing components, or aggregates, skandhas. This self is merely the momentary, temporary combination of these 5. 1. Rupa, form the body, including all physical senses. Is your body permanent? No, it changes daily. 2. Vedana, feeling all sensations and feelings, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Are your feelings permanent? No, they shift moment to moment. 3. Sana, perception, how you label and recognize objects and experiences. Are your perceptions permanent? No, they change with new information. 4. Sakara, mental formations, intentions, thoughts, habits, and volitional actions, karma. Are your intentions permanent? No, they are conditioned and constantly updated. 5. Vaya, consciousness, the faculty of awareness or cognition. Is consciousness permanent? No, it depends entirely on the other 4 aggregates. To arise, the test. When you look for the self, where do you find it? Is it in the changing body? Is it in the fleeting emotions? Is it in the stream of thoughts? The Buddha taught that every time you investigate, you find only change and dependence. There is nothing stable enough to cling to and declare. This is the permanent me. The realization of Anatta is the realization that the managerial burden, the exhaustion of keeping all these aggregates running smoothly, consistently, and perfectly is unnecessary. There is no central eternal self that can fail. Underscore. The exhaustion of maintaining a persona. Our contemporary exhaustion is deeply tied to the Bhava, craving for becoming / existence we discussed earlier. We feel compelled to maintain a rigid external identity, the competent professional, always in control, never showing vulnerability, the perfect parent, always patient, always nurturing, never making mistakes, the ideal friend, always available, always supportive, never needing anything. Maintaining these personas is draining because they are fundamentally unreal. They demand that you suppress your true feelings, unpleasant Vedana, ignore your physical limits, Rupa, and force positive intentions, Sakra, all in defense of a non-existent, perfect core. When you fail to live up to these impossible standards, the illusory self feels hurt, guilty, and ashamed. This self-judgment is the second wave of exhaustion. Anatta offers freedom from this performance anxiety. When you understand non-self vona, you realize, I am not that persona. That persona is just a temporary combination of conditions, skandhas, that I created to navigate a specific situation. When the situation changes, the persona can dissolve without harming my true nature, awareness. Underscore. Anatta and interdependence, the two sides of one coin. The teachings of Anatta, non-self, and Pratītyasamutpāda, interdependence, are not separate. They are two sides of the same coin. Interdependence states, nothing exists alone. External reality, Anatta states, therefore, the self cannot exist alone. Internal reality, your identity is not a solid object, it is a relationship. Your mother identity exists only because of your child condition. Your employee identity exists only because of your work condition. When the condition ends, the identity naturally ceases, and clinging to the relic of that identity causes suffering. The practice of dissolution. The practice stemming from Anatta is one of decomposition and observation. In meditation, instead of fighting thoughts, we observe them simply as sakra, mental formations, not truth. A practical exercise. 1. Locate the feeling. When you feel overwhelmed or inadequate, ask, who is feeling inadequate? 2. Decompose the feeling. Is it the body feeling inadequate? Rupa? No, the body is just sitting. Is it the thought saying, I am inadequate, Sakra? Yes. 3. Witness the impermanence. Observe that thought. Do not argue with it. Just watch it arise, peak, and begin to dissolve. 4. Rest in awareness. Recognize that the awareness watching the thought is not the thought itself. This awareness is your true, unconditioned, non-self-bound nature. It is peaceful, spacious, and utterly unexhausted. This constant, gentle work of dissolving the illusion of the fixed self is the most effective way to eliminate the immense energy drain caused by self-defense and self-criticism. When the heavy burden of I is set down, true rest becomes possible. Underscore. We have conducted a deep inner diagnosis. We know that exhaustion doesn't originate from the external world, but from Taṇhā, craving, and resistance, and the endless effort to sustain a false, fixed self, Anatta. If the disease is taking and grasping, the cure must be giving. Buddhist teachings establish Dāna, generosity, as the very first and foundational practice on the path to liberation. Dāna, or the virtue of open-handedness, is the radical action that reverses the direction of the mind, from self-centered contraction to open-hearted expansion. Dāna is the direct remedy for the exhaustion caused by hoarding and psychological self-defense. Dāna is not charity, it is letting go. Many people view generosity as optional charity, practiced only when they have a surplus. In Buddhism, Dāna is a spiritual training, parami, a deliberate action aimed at purifying the mind. Authentic Dāna is the act of giving without expecting anything in return, apratihita. When you give with no expectation, you are simultaneously performing three liberating actions. 1. Releasing material clinging. You let go of the control and ownership of resources. 2. Releasing expectation. You let go of clinging to the outcome or the praise from the recipient. 3. Releasing fear. You challenge the fearful belief that giving will leave me lacking, replacing it with confidence in abundance and interdependence. This profound act of letting go immediately creates a feeling of lightness and freedom that cannot be achieved through accumulation. Your mind gets to rest from the heavy burden of having to guard and secure its possessions. The three treasures of generosity. To practice Dāna radically in modern life, we must expand the definition of generosity beyond mere material goods. 1. Amisa Dāna, material giving. This is the giving of tangible goods like money, food, clothes, or time spent in labor. Mindfulness in giving. The practice is not about the quantity, but the intention. Ask, am I giving to be praised? Or am I giving to ease suffering and to loosen my own greed? Even a small action like picking up litter is a form of Amisa Dāna for the shared environment. Challenging scarcity. Practicing material Dāna when you feel you do not have enough is a powerful way to break the scarcity mindset. The action declares to your mind, I have enough. I am abundant. 2. Dharma Dāna, giving of truth/wisdom. This is considered the greatest gift because wisdom, Dharma, has the capacity to end suffering permanently. In the modern context, Dharma Dāna is the gift of non-material transformative value, the gift of time and presence, the gift of mindfulness in a fragmented and hurried world. Undivided attention is a rare treasure. When someone is speaking, stop everything, the phone, the judgmental thoughts, and listen fully. This is a pure act of mindfulness and powerful Dharma. Dāna, it gives the recipient the sense of being truly seen and connected. The gift of example, living a life of ethical conduct, kindness, and calmness. Your presence itself becomes a